So let's talk about Elisa Heinerscheid, Budweiser's VP of marketing. She's having a rough few weeks, right? She hired female impersonator Dylan Mulvaney to sell beer when she should have listened to me and hired this guy. But it was Jared. But if by some chance you're not caught up, it started April 1st after Mulvaney, a.k.a. Pee-wee her-him, announced a partnership with Bud Light, who had a can made with Dylan's picture on it. I thought it was an April Fool's joke, like when I told those orphans I was adopting them. But it wasn't. And now their stock price is suffering. In the past 2 weeks, Anheuser-Busch has lost $5 billion with a B as in B cup. People haven't been this disgusted by an ad since OJ endorsed steak knives. So $5 billion lost. How do you like them Adam's apples? This never happened to Spuds MacKenzie. And Spud was played by a female dog, so he was actually Bud Light's first transgender spokesman. Or spokeswoman, technically a spokesbitch. The difference between Spuds and Dylan, Spuds had a black eye, but Mulvaney gave the brand a black eye. And Spuds was lovable. Mulvaney's an annoying rash that won't go away. Which brings us back to Elisa Heinerscheid. Just before the Mulvaney debacle blew up, she said this.
I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time.
So her job was to what? Put the brand out of its misery like a horse with a broken leg? Mission accomplished, Secretariat. What? Well, at least one Clydesdale still has a job. But she also said this.
Oh, take me now.
Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor, and it was really important that we had another approach.
The new approach, alienate those very fratty people from buying her product. Mission accomplished again. Bud Light could have put out a statement saying some cans were tainted with monkeypox, and they wouldn't have lost this much money. Instead, they found a joker who wears sports bras in bubble baths. I'm sorry, frat boys hardly ever wear sports bras in the tub, even when I offer them an extra $20. Hell, Bud, why not finish the job and hire Meghan Markle to be the king of beers? And now Bud's throwing their VP under the bus over the whole thing, blaming a low-level marketing staffer, claiming the bigwigs had no idea themselves. I haven't seen such desperate ass covering since Brian Stelter split his pants at the Golden Corral. Big fat butt. But it gets better. The Daily Caller did some digging, and apparently Heinerscheid is an expert when it comes to fratty behavior. Check out these pictures from 2006 on our now-deleted Facebook page. Here she is getting fratty with some Rolling Rock, which might even be frattier than Bud Light. And I suspect there was some fratty behavior leading up to this snapshot. Yeah, hashtag fratty as And here's Heinerscheid blowing up a condom like a balloon, which is how I got fired from being a birthday party clown. Fratty or not fratty, I don't know. And whatever's going on here, that's what Dylan Mulvaney thinks he looks like. But really, all that stuff is fine. She was a college student at the time. So what? Hell, the name Heinerscheid even sounds like a German beer. She was just having fun. The problem is that now, as a woke, sanctimonious, creative, performing her woke duties, she decided to poop on more parties than Joe Biden in a bouncy castle. Fact is, she was once one of the fun people that she's now turning her back on. And now Bud Light sales are plummeting like a hot air balloon carrying the cast of The View. So, applauding the death of The View. You guys, But look, I'm almost over this story, but not quite. I actually feel a little bad for Dylan. There's nothing worse than becoming a story during a slow news cycle. And I bet the decision to hire her was just some dopey kid out of college who thought it would be cool to throw some trans into the faces of these fat old white beer drinkers. And if you don't like it, you gotta be bigoted. But if you tell millions of people that your product isn't intended for them anymore, what do you think is gonna happen? They'd rather chug water from Don Lemon's hot tub. Yeah. And only woke sheep like drones would think it's wise to insert a lecture into a party beverage. And so Bud paid for it, something companies should consider the next time they weigh throwing their consumers under the woke bus. People will see through it. They no longer care if you think it's transphobic to criticize a company that openly insults you. And it's not transphobic to mock the worst spokesperson since Bill Cosby tried to sell us Jell-O PM.
Wow.
Yeah, Jell-O PM.
Again.
In fact, if you held back your criticism because the person is trans, then really isn't that textbook transphobia? It means you're scared to speak your mind to them, which is exactly what the woke want. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Budweiser paid him 6 figures to stay away from their products. Comedian and co-host of the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts Show on SiriusXM, Jim Norton. He's on a 12-step program to give up crumpets. Fox News contributor Douglas Murray. She gets hate mail from carbs. Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. And finally, his ring size is hula hoop. My massive sidekick in the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tyrus. Jim, there's a lot of interesting threads to this story.
Yes.
You've got marketing, you've got a product, you've got an interesting choice. But let's get to brass tacks. You find Dylan Mulvaney attractive, don't you?
I would say no. I like trans girls, hate influencers, so I'm kind of caught in the middle here. But no, I'm not big on Dylan, but I think it's such a funny story to me how mad people are. Like, this is not, this is a product that makes you pee your pants and drive the wrong way on the highway. And people are so upset. And I don't think they're marketing against people. They're just trying to market to other people. And I think that woman made a mistake when she acted holier than thou and criticized the fratty humor. She should have just said, well, yeah, we want young trans people to drink this product. My identity is not wrapped up in who else drinks a beverage I drink.
Yeah.
Like, I like Diet Coke. I wouldn't care if Hitler was on the can. I would drink Diet Coke. If he was high-fiving Bin Laden, I'd be like, I'd like a Diet Coke, please. And I'd brush the little mustache hairs off it, and I would enjoy my Diet Coke. My identity is not tied in with other people who enjoy a beverage I enjoy.
I have to say, though, you said something that no one else has said, and it's the answer to everything. It's not about trans, it's about influencers. There's not a single likable influencer. It changes people by making them hyper dramatic, and so you can't like them. Even it doesn't matter who it is, you just can't stand them.
Well, they don't have to, everything trans has to be campy. Like, it doesn't have to be like, I'm a lady. Like, how about, like, show Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox with Trace Lizette just drinking a Bud Light. Like, that's a perfectly fine ad.
Yeah.
But they have to make everything campy and over the top, and it becomes irritating. But it doesn't bother me that somebody trans is on a I just don't care.
No, yeah, me neither. It doesn't bother me either. But also, why are all these examples always male to female trans people?
Very
right?
good. Yes, yes.
Like, I don't care who's on the can either. It's like, I'm not offended. I'm not worked up by it. But I feel like they're saying that you have to be born with a penis to drink Bud Light. Because it is a bro brand. It's really super bro-y. But, like, I'm bro-y.
Yeah, you are.
365 days of being a bro. Have a female to male trans person. 365 days of being a bro. And now I'm crushing the brews with my broskies.
You know who's the perfect?
Why
Chaz
not?
Bono.
Like, why
it
not?
It should have been Chaz Bono. You're talking about Chaz.
Sure. It's just, Dylan is not it doesn't fit the Bud Light brand, regardless of gender.
You know, Douglas, you come from England where beer is soup, right?
What?
Beer is soup.
What do you mean?
It's dark. It's thick.
He's trying to say it's part of the food group.
Yeah, it's warm and thick. Yes.
Yeah. But so do you consider Bud Light an actual a beer?
Very vaguely.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see Dylan Mulvaney after drinking all those Bud Lights. I wanted to see the last take after chugging them all back. Of course, Dylan Mulvaney isn't drinking them. And the thing about it all is it's just so cynical. It's just, the thing about woke corporations and things, it's just the cynicism most of us don't like. I don't care what anyone drinks. I don't care if Bud Light want to try to make more trans people alcoholics, whatever they want to do their brand. But what I mind about it is just this idea that you've got to have things forced in your face. It's what makes most, films and things kind of unwatchable. It's just kind of, you will accept the ideas we're putting on you. You better love it.
You better stand up and clap with a tear in your eye.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dylan Mulvaney is just like this season's, what's the Kardashian?
Kim?
No, the only one who wasn't famous for being a woman who became a woman.
Oh, Caitlyn?
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner, yeah. It's like Dylan Mulvaney's this season's Caitlyn Jenner.
How
Do you
dare
remember?
you?
No, remember
Caitlyn is an actual hero.
The point is, and would be a more plausible Bud Light drinker.
Yes. But Caitlyn could put it back.
But you remember, of course. You mean drink a lot?
Yes.
Drink, yeah. But remember,
Crush the beer. Caitlyn could drink a Bud Light and crush it on, and then go just.
and a roar.
Yeah.
But the point is that there was that season where he just won everything.
Yeah.
Like sports personality, woman of the year, glamour person of the year, and it's the same for this guy at the moment. It's just too much. It's on everything. She's annoying. We don't need her on everything.
It bothers me too, Tyrus, because the more we talk about Dylan, the less we talk about the Canadian shop teacher.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same. Because you can't talk about the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Because I'm different. I am offended.
Yeah.
That Dylan's on the can. For one reason, he's not representing trans women. He's not. He's a performance actor. He's in woman face. That's like you trying to tell me it's cool if someone painted their face black and put them on the face of the can of Bud Light and tell me, well, he's representing black. No, it's not. I am offended. Women should be offended. Men should be offended. These are our mothers that are being made fun of. Like we're stupid. Women are stupid and dumb and bubbly. That's not a trans woman. That's not Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner lives her life as a woman and not at the expense of other women.
Yeah.
She just wants to privately be who she wants to be. And she has every right to do that. And I will drink a keg of beer with Caitlyn Jenner anytime, any place. But this is blackface and is wrong.
There you go. That is going to be on my bucket list.
What's that?
Getting wasted with Caitlyn Jenner.
I can make the call.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go and just do a whole weekend of getting wasted. Well, golf?
I never said anything about drinking with you.
Oh.
I said Caitlyn. No.
was
Because
unnecessary.
he talks and he does 20 minutes of, should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Does my driver like me? Does he not like me? I can't do that again.
All right.
Cat knows.
Up next, equity they applaud from data. That's a fraud. That was good.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.